I'm so excited about this particular lesson because there has been a lot of news about AI on the internet lately. But what I want to talk about is that because of this fear looming over bloggers regarding whether or not we should be afraid of AI taking away our traffic, I wanted to make sure I talk about dominating your niche. Something the AI cannot do is be an expert in whatever the niche you are. The AI cannot do that. The AI can answer simple questions, but it cannot give the experience, your experience. And I know we have heard this quote before that in order for you to become an expert in anything, it's going to require 10,000 hours. And some folks even say 20,000 hours. I will say that they are right in some cases. You will have to devote a lot of your time. It's just like if you were trying to learn how to play the piano. You're trying to learn how to blog properly and successfully, and you're also becoming that go-to person in your industry, whether it is becoming a travel nurse who helps nurses across the country through your blog, and you just become the go-to travel nurse. Everybody knows somebody in an industry that you love watching. That is the go-to person. If you are on YouTube and you're watching about a particular subject matter and you watch it all the time, and you see that they leave their trail across their internet, you know that they are an expert. They are dominating their field and they are becoming an expert. That is something the AI cannot compete with at this moment. So, how do you even become an expert in your field? The first thing, as with anything you do, is that you have to set some goals. You have to set goals and timeline for your blog post schedule. We know that strategy is important. You have to set timelines for your keyword, and you have to have time for just learning the art of blogging and also keeping up with all of the industry news that's in your particular niche. After that, you have to always have a passion, a curiosity for the thing that you are most interested in. If this is something that you are in love with, or you just can do it for free, which basically becomes like your passion, you have to always keep update with what's going on in your industry, like I mentioned earlier. After that, you're going to want to find a mentor. This is something I wish I could have found a little bit earlier, but during my part of the journey, there weren't many mentors out there that wanted to take people on. Now, I had mentors in the sense of if I needed help with affiliate marketing, or if I needed help with just understanding the business of blogging, I would seek out those particular people. But when it came to someone in my industry who was into Disney and theme parks, who was successful at blogging, successful at podcasting, or anything else I wanted to do, I couldn't find those people at first. But once I found that person, it really started to click. You want to find someone that can help you at the different phases of your blogging journey. So right now, if you're at the beginning phase, then you have us here at Bramework to help you cultivate all the things you need in order to be successful in that beginning phase of getting from the 0 sessions a month to the 10K sessions a month. Then we can help you, or you could go find another coach who can help you with the monetization part. That's where you get to the different levels. But also in your blogging journey, you may be at a point where you're like, I really want to get good at keyword research. I really want to get good at SEO. Then you will find who is the number one person on the internet with SEO or keyword research who is teaching it and are happy to mentor you. And of course, they're going to probably charge a fee. But when you are trying to become an expert, you do those things. After that, you want to find somebody like I did who is an expert in your particular field to come in and to coach you. This is extremely important on your journey of dominating your niche. You have to find the person who is doing it. Trust me, just listen to me. Go do it. If you see someone, and even if they don't offer a coaching program, maybe you pitch them and you say, hey, I love your work. I love what you're doing. Do you offer any coaching services for a fee? I'd be happy to pay for an hour of your time. And sometimes if you don't have the money right now, you can get their services from afar by just checking out what they do online, find any podcasts that they have been interviewed on where they are talking about what they do in their industry and their stories of how they became successful. Write down your notes so that you get gems from them. And that way you can get some of their knowledge and you don't have to pay for it if you're not there yet. You can also find YouTube videos where they've been interviewed on, and just go to their website. A lot of people who are experts in their field have an incredible About Me pages that can give you a little insight on how they got started, the journey they went through. And sometimes it's just great for motivation to keep you going. The next thing that you're gonna have to deal with or go through as you are becoming an expert in your field is having a lot of self-doubt, or what people like to call imposter syndrome. This is normal, but make sure that you don't linger there too long because it can paralyze you. I have had a lot of moments where I have been asked to do a lot of things, to speak on places, and I'm like, I'm just over here in this little quiet area of the internet. I don't know if I feel comfortable. Heck, us doing Bramework and creating this academy for all of us to learn from each other, I did not feel comfortable doing it because I felt like, why don't we get the people who I've learned from? But you know what? I have a unique voice. You have a unique voice, and no one can tell your experience like you can. So while you're through your journey, push past the self-doubt and just show up every day. You have days where you may not feel comfortable, but that's what we're here for. That's what this Bramework community is here for. We're here for you to come there and say, hey guys, today I was asked to do something, or today I have to go and do something. I don't feel like I can do it. And let us feed into you. Let us pour into you to lift up your spirit so that you can show up and be great. The next thing that you want to think about on your road to becoming the expert in your field is creating a community. Community building is something that a lot of bloggers don't talk about, but your community helps grow your authority in your niche. So you will hear me say niche and niche. I go backwards, so you get what I'm saying. But having a community that is particular to your subject matter that you talk about just makes Google push you up forward, because when somebody's Googling, let's go back to the cheap flights for Florida, and then they see that this website has a community on Facebook that's called Florida Cheap Flights or whatever they want to call it, and then they see that there's thousands of members in here and they're active every day, that boosts your authority. Also, if they see that you have your community, you have a lot of blog posts that go out a couple of times a week, and you are showing up on other platforms, other podcasts, that really helps out your authority in the Google algorithm, and it's going to make you stand out above the AI or anybody in your competition. And speaking of blog posts, you're going to want to write some more. I mean, you have a blog, so you're going to have to write some articles, a lot of them, to just show that you are an expert in that niche. So if I am someone running the Cheap Flights to Florida website, remember, I never checked to see if this was available. I'm just coming off the top of my head. I will be writing about the top 10 ways to find cheap flights to Florida. What are the best deals for traveling to Florida? Where can you fly in when coming to Florida? Like, what are the best airports to fly into Florida that are cheap? Alternative airports when flying into Orlando. Like, everything would be centered around flying to Florida. So anytime someone tried to write an article, they would really have a lot of competition going up against all the articles I've written. And then Google realizes that my site is all about cheap flights to Florida and even some deals. So a lot of people will start to see that when I need a quote from somebody about flying to Florida, I'm going to that particular website. Like, you're going to have major news publications, which we're going to go into. Another way of becoming an expert is not being afraid to go on to major news publications. And sometimes they will reach out to you and just want a quote from you to put on a website. But then there are the moments where they want you to actually come on their news station or their podcast. And it may be scary. And that's where that fear comes in as a blogger, or the intimidation, or feeling like you're not good enough. You push past it, because ultimately, if you pick this passion, then you are trying to change the world with the talents that were given to you at birth. So you want to help the world in the way that you know how, based on the things that you're passionate about and your talents again. So when they reach out to you and they get you on their platform, and you can show that, hey, I was on such and such publication. And these can be major news publications like USA Today or NBC. Any of them, they will reach out to you. And what does that show to Google? You have a backlink, meaning that you have a link from a major publication like a USA Today back to your website. That builds your authority. AI can't do that. Your competitors who are taking the fear path, who aren't going out there and putting themselves out there every day, constantly with their articles and content, and then showing up on these publications, pushing past the fear. If they're not doing that, then you are, and you're winning, and you're going to always be at the top tier of your niche. Another way to build your authority is to make your mark on social media. Now, this is what we're going to get into later in this academy, but you have to show up on social media. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can start with one that you're most comfortable with, get good at it, get it going where you've built up an audience on there, and then move on to the next one. But you have to make your mark. All of it, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the YouTubes, and yes, YouTube is a great brand authority builder. If you don't have YouTube, you're going to have to think about getting it after you get your blog going. That is something that you do not want to not do, is not get on YouTube. That is a must. But you can save it for the future as you get comfortable with blogging. But all of these social media accounts that you have, you showing up on podcasts and different publications, and you're blogging almost every day, Monday through Friday, whatever schedule works for you, it all talks on Google. It all talks on all of these search engines. And that's what builds your authority. Now, one of my favorite ways of building authority that might take a little bit longer that you can do in the future is to write a book. I know I came out with that one, but trust me, that book, writing a book is something that is so intimidating for people across the world. And it is one of the hardest things that you may do in your blogging business, but it is so rewarding to have a copy of your own book that you've written. I'm gonna go get my book. One moment. Let me go get it. Because I'm gonna show you. Okay, I'm back. So I just wanted to show you that I wrote my own book, and I wrote it on something I was passionate about, which was solo travel and theme parks. So this right here, I can always go up to people and I can say, hey, I'm the author of the Solo Theme Park Traveler Guide, where I help people who are scared to go to theme parks alone. I help them be confident and help them have a great time on a budget. And yes, the money in book writing is not as lucrative as in some aspects of your blogging business, but it makes you stand out above the crowd. So anytime somebody mentioned solo travel to a theme park, who has the book? And that's what you want to be in your industry. Eventually, you want to get to a point where you have all the bases covered. You are that go-to person. So if I am the owner of the cheap flights to Florida or CaliforniaForFamilies.com, I don't know if these sites exist, disclaimer, I will make sure that in my goal of my business that I eventually write a book about my expertise. And the good thing about it is that by the time you get ready to write your book, you're going to have so many blog posts written that you can hire somebody to organize all your blog posts and put them in a great order for you for a book. And all you have to do is go in there and tweak it, maybe add a few things here, take some things out, and you already have your book. Your blog is your book in the making. So you can monetize it. You don't have to just keep your blog on one place. Repurpose it. Repurpose clips of your blog posts on your social media like Facebook. You can use it as a caption with a photo or a video to go with it. You can even use it for TikToks, especially if you have listicles. They work great on shorts, reels, and TikToks. This is how you build your authority, and you don't have to keep doing new things over and over. So finally, when it comes to dominating your niche or niche, I'm going to switch it up on this course, so don't get mad. So when it comes to dominating your niche, the thing that you will want to do, number one, is to be the best and have fun. You want to be the best at all the articles that you write. You want to be the best on social media. Present your best self. And just because you present your best self doesn't mean that you're not presenting your authentic self. This is your time to shine. This is your time to present the world with all the gifts and talents that you have been blessed with from birth. Now we're going to go over to the next lesson where I'm going to talk about some of the things that bloggers don't share.